Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
From the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Yes, everybody. It is Dark Ashton time. It is happening. We are going full-on movie villain role. You know what? Fuck the UFO community. Fuck academia. Fuck the media. And fuck the government, too. None of these people are ever going to come and save us. They're never going to give us any of the disclosure we want. They're never going to give us the truth either. And today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to rip down the newest I guess we'll call it a PSYOP that's going out there. DroneGate 2024, everybody. Alien invasion has been resurrected. You thought it was over. We're back, and it's dumber than before. So, anyway, welcome to the stream tonight, everybody. As usual, I'm your host, Ashton Forbes. We are going to get right into it. But before we do that, I want to share this pretty funny little clip here that I found. You guys may recognize this. This is the God Warrior, everybody. The God Warrior. Hold on. I've got too many things open. Here we go. I don't know when this was posted. Oh, wait. Why can't I want to show? Oh, here it is.
What? Dork-sided! Not of God. It's not Christians. Did you not ask if she believed in God? She's not a Christian! No! She's tampering in dark-sided stuff. Yes, she did. The entire house is dark-sided.
She said her whole house is...
She is dark-sided too! Gargoyles, psychics, everything's ungodly. Dark-sided. Get the hell out of my house in Jesus.
Get the hell out of my house, everyone. It's dark-sided. It's dark-sided. This is how I feel. This is just perfect because this is how I feel about how the UFO community looks at me. Like, I think they literally look at me as like I'm the Antichrist or something like that. Which, honestly, let's just lean into it. I got no reason not to at this point. What I want to say on this before people start judging me and what have you, saying we should be unifying or whatever else. I have had these people attacking me for over a year straight, telling me how obviously fake the MH370 videos are and what have you. And today, for the last 24 hours, they have been posting nothing but fake videos constantly. So let's just start right away with one of my favorites, Ross Coulthart. Okay, if you guys don't know the backstory because you're new, let me just lay it down for you. A year ago, I started trying to reach out to the media and the UFO community being like, hey guys, I got the most compelling UFO videos ever seen in the history of the world here. Do you think you could, look at them, like maybe do a little bit of research? Maybe you could use your contacts or something to figure out what's going on with these videos. And one of the first people I reached out to was Ross Coulthart about these videos. And Ross Coulthart wouldn't respond. And it took forever to try to figure out what Ross Coulthart's deal was. After a few weeks, not even a few weeks, just a few days, I found out a guy named Think Tank, known as 528 Vibes on Twitter, was not just in direct messages with Ross Coulthart. He was text messaging him. He's got his phone number. And he showed me the text messages in a DM. I can show them. I've shown them before. I've revealed them all on my Twitter post like a year ago. And Ross Coulthart told Think Tank that he was told by his sources that that those videos aren't real. And it gets better. He thought that it was a video game effect that we were seeing in the videos. He literally fell for the fake debunk that was out there. So Ross Coulthart never would talk to me or anything. I sent him emails. He would never respond, wouldn't give me the time of day. He even did a video about MH370 and didn't invite me to talk about the theory that I promoted. Instead had Larry Vance, who was like, I'm 100% sure it was a suicidal pilot, which is not something anyone could know. And he had Florence Echangi, who I actually do respect. So, was this last night that this started? I think it was last night, right, guys? I'm losing track of time. Let me pull up my stuff. Oh, yeah, okay. 21 hours ago. So technically last night. Here we go. Let's get it going. Let's go with this one. You guys see this? Okay, sweet. So last night, the guy that couldn't tell the MH370 videos were real, Ross Coulthart, makes this post. Yep, definitely a drone. Ha ha ha. LOL. And there was this link to this video here with this glowing orb. Okay? Glowing orb. So I look at it and I'm like, why is Ross Coulthart like trying to say that these drones are clearly, they must be aliens or some shit, right? Because, here's this glowing orb floating around in the sky. So I took a look at the video. And I think the video's gone now, or maybe we can find it. Yeah, maybe we can find it. Hold on. UFO Mania. Let's see if we can find it. At Mania UFO. Let's see if it's deleted. I doubt it's been deleted. 14 hours. He was retweeting this? It's funny. A lot of these accounts are they're just engagement baiting or what have you. Here's the video, guys. Okay, you ready? There's no sound on this video. You're not missing anything. So first red flag, there's no sound, okay? Second red flag, I'm looking at a blurry, out of focus object here. But still, okay, let's keep watching. Looks like the object is coming closer or something. The fact that there's no sound is a big red flag because anybody that's staring at floaty orbs like this is probably going to be freaking out in their video. Now, if you watch very closely, you can actually see a car pass in the background right there. You see that car pass in the background? This orb, you can already tell it's fake because the way the orb just shifted right there is not accurate to how it would be moving in a three-dimensional environment. And it's weird that you can actually tell this. The reason why I point this out is because it shows that the MH370 videos are definitely real because they passed the sniff test on it actually looks like a three-dimensional object traveling through three-dimensional space. When you watch this movement right here, this is not normal. That movement you're seeing right there, that is not natural movement that you're seeing. That's somebody moving something around that they've edited into the top, right? And the next kicker is this. The car right here, this orb is floating right above this car. This car doesn't even stop. That car just keeps going. Guys, if you see how big you think this orb is, 20-foot orb, 30-foot orb, and this car just drives right underneath it, you don't think you might stop? It's not even lens flare. It's just literally something that somebody added into post, I think. But it could be lens flare too. Who knows? But here's the real kicker right now. So now, all of a sudden, a second ago, this orb was really far away, and now it's moved much closer to us, and it's still the exact same size. The size of the orb hasn't changed yet. So the orb was over there, and now it's over here right in front of us, and now the orb size hasn't changed at all. But here's the real kicker. The way that I knew 100% this video is fake was that the light is not interacting with the environment. And you might say, hey, Ashton, but didn't you say that these orbs of plasma will not radiate? Yes. Yes. And if this orb was not radiating, you wouldn't be seeing this glare that you're seeing coming off of it. You can see the glare coming off of it, which would indicate that it's emitting photons. But unfortunately, it floats over here next to this house, and there's no shadows anywhere. There should be shadows. Like, look here on the bottom right where these rocks are at. It's casting no light on the road. It's casting no shadows against the house. And it's not casting any shadows on these rocks. We should be seeing shadows on these rocks right here. So this is how we know whatever this is, it's fake. It's not real. It should be really obvious when you look at it too. It's not like evolving or anything. It's just like, it looks like somebody just copy and pasted a 2D image over the top of this. Now, the reason why I point this out, and I was actually kind of nice to Ross. I was actually kind of nice. When I responded in the replies, I was like, here's the reasons why I highly doubt that this is real. I mean, and this is crazy, is that, yeah, and this is the point here I want to point out. I'm going to get to the super chats in a second. This is why people don't take the UFO topic seriously. When you've got your main journalist, Ross Coulthart, unable to tell that that's a fake video, it took me 1 minute to realize that video was fake. On the first viewing, I didn't even need a second viewing of that video. Like, that's how easy it is to prove some of this stuff's fake. And it's crazy, guys. It gets worse. Here was my reply just to see that I was, you can tell this was from yesterday. The light's not casting any shadows. The way the orb moves doesn't seem consistent with it moving through a 3D scene. The car in the background drives right past the floating orb right above it. And then there's no sound. The no sound is huge because you probably will hear people talking normally and they're just outside and has nothing to do with a floating orb in front of them. Okay. Okay, let's get the super chats real quick. Guido Costello told me that Ashton Forbes shows up in Interpol as a Russian asset. Guys, that's the wrong narrative. The Russian asset narrative doesn't work. You got to go with CIA, like that I'm a CIA person or that I'm an alien, or what was the other one? I already forgot. There was a good narrative someone was spreading yesterday. Again, someone said you're a Russian asset. They say flat Earth was a conspiracy to get the U.S. population to dislike the establishment and vote for Trump. Yeah, flat Earth is probably a psyop. I am planning on doing a flat Earth debate with that Witslick guy at some point, probably in like a month. And I really don't care, honestly. I was like, they wanted to do the debate. Let me go full screen here for a second. They wanted to do the debates with just about the ether and not have it be about flat Earth. And I was like, look, man, if I'm going to talk to a flat Earth guy, we might as well talk about flat Earth. And the point is, there is a way for flat Earth to make sense, but nobody ever makes the argument in the way that it actually makes sense. They quite literally say that the Earth is a pancake, which makes no fucking sense. Unfortunately, it just doesn't. But anyway, whatever. I don't care. I have like why not? These guys have been bugging me nonstop about talking to the flat earther people. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're Darth Ashton. I don't care anymore. One other, if you missed out, we are full Darth Ashton today. That's why you see us in all black. That's why you see me in all black and with the sunglasses on today. Okay. Next thing, guys. Let's go back to this. God, I'm not used to my new layouts that I got set up for us here. Okay, I thought, one time is one thing, right? Like, okay, you share one video. Okay, so what? Everybody deserves a break, right, chat? Right? Right? Everybody deserves a break. Well, what else has Ross Coulthart been sharing? Wait, where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, it moved to the top. That's why. There's more. There's more. Wait, he's sharing another video? It begs belief that the Department of Defense, the most powerful military on the planet, is completely, apparently unable to track, detect, or shoot down these objects. How can it be that after months of incursions over sensitive military facilities, These overflights are still continuing with apparent impunity. Okay, so Ronnie Burnett, low flying shots alerted by New Jersey. Right away, guys, this is just a screenshot. But if you look closely in that screenshot, you can tell that whatever this object is has one red light on one side and one green light on the other. It's got lights on either side of this object in the sky. You guys probably know where this is going. So let's pull up Ronnie Burnett. I'm not blocked by this guy. Oh, interesting. Okay, where is it? Did he delete it? No, these guys don't delete their stuff. It's also, do you guys notice something else as well, real quick? None of these people have community notes on any of their posts, but like anything I post is getting, I just noticed as well, somebody tried to community note my debris thing, my drift analysis. I get community note on like literally every single post that I make. And, yeah, no, we're good. For this person, guys, I've been, every single aspect of my life has been doxxed. Every single aspect. I've literally gotten death threats. So I had to call the FBI and talk to the FBI, like literally. And just for the people that are out there, I gave them the debunker Discord. I told them exactly where to find the debunkers. I told the FBI, this is where you can find these guys. Just go in there, say my name, and you'll have a million people, like literally nut jobs, screaming about me. I was like, you need to watch these people. Like, if I'm going to get hurt, it's going to be by one of these Redditor nut jobs in their Discord. I told the FBI agent that just straight up, 100%. Okay, anyway, going back to this video. Yeah, I'm not worried about it, man. It's whatever. Where the hell is the video? Did they delete it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Guys. Aliens? Let's see. Let's see. What do we got here? We got slow moving plane flying. I'm sorry, I ruined it. I ruined it. It's an airplane. We've got a green navigation light on the right side. We've got a red navigation light on the left side. And then we've got some other smaller lights underneath and on the back of the plane. These people are actually saying that they think that this is an alien UFO or drone. This is a fucking commercial airliner, guys. If you can't tell this is a commercial airliner, I seriously, seriously question your judgment, guys. Like, literally, go to your airport at night and go look at the airplanes and film it with your Nokia phone from the early 2000s like this person's doing. And you're going to see a video just like that. There is no doubt, no question, this is a commercial airliner. Literally no question. This has 600,000 views. At the start of this drone crisis, I joked that some of these objects looked like airplanes dressed for Christmas. Yes, it's a fucking airplane. Do people not understand that airplanes have red and green navigation lights? Okay, guys, hold up. I'm going to go full screen for a second. I'm just Googling airplane navigation lights. Okay, that's it. That's all we got in that. That's all we have to Google. Takes 5 seconds. Like, anybody could do this. It's not that mysterious. Here's a great image right here, right? Oh, look. From the underside, the red is I guess depending on what side you're looking at, the red is on the left and the green is on the right. Oh, look, it's exactly matching a real airplane's FAA required navigation lights. Maybe the aliens are just mimicking FAA navigation lights to blend in. This is actually insane that people, the reason why I'm bringing this up, people were arguing with me adamantly that this was real. It's called a fucking airplane, guys. Look at this. And people are replying, I've never in my life seen an airplane with as many lights as these are displaying. I just, like, guys, this is why nobody takes the UFO community seriously. You can't even tell when you're looking at an airplane. You can't even tell when you're looking at an airplane. I think there's more. Where were the other videos that they showed? Okay, let me see. Let me go back here. Oh, wait. Let me see if it's down here. Because people started sharing more videos. Yeah, look, here's another one, okay? So here's another one. I like Jordan Crowder. I think he's a good guy. But this is an airplane. This is an airplane. You're looking at the underside of an airplane. You've got your green navigation light on the right, and you've got your red navigation light on the left. This isn't rocket science. This is like really, really straightforward stuff. Okay? Next one. I think there's more in here. Let me go to my profile. I think it's in this thread. Oh, we're going to shout that guy out in a second, too. Okay, well, I don't know. There's a couple more. Okay, I can't find the other ones. There's a couple more that I saw, and they were all just airplanes. All those airplanes, you could just see the red and green on them. I mean, just unambiguously. And then here's this. Let's go back to Ross Coulthart's page real quick. Where's Ross? Okay. If you guys aren't familiar with Richard Geldrich, whatever his stupid ass name is, look, here's more airplanes, right? Like, look, here's another airplane flying around. Let me mute this. There was one airplane. Here's another airplane flying around in a second here. There's another airplane. These are airplanes, guys. That's an airplane. Guys, once again, please don't argue with me about this. Like, if you want to embarrass yourself and keep going all in on this, like, these videos I'm showing you, these are airplanes. It's not a question. It's not a debate. There's no doubt about it. Like, you guys, if you don't realize these are airplanes, you need to go work on your discernment. Truthfully. I don't want to be rude, but, like, this is actually just ridiculous. Actually completely ridiculous. But here, it gets better. So now this Richard Geldrich guy, who was one of the first nut jobs in the UFO community, to just come out super hard against me, tell people to block me, telling people I'm disinformation, telling people I'm hurting the UFO community, that the MH370 videos are obviously fake. Well, let's look at what he's sharing. The orbs are out. This is just like World War II in the 50s, guys. This is a 64 times sped up time-lapse video. This video shows nothing anomalous. These are just satellites and other shit flying through the sky. Airplanes, satellites. This is not drones or UFOs or aliens or anything. This is a time-lapse that's sped up 64 times. So these objects are actually moving 64 times slower than they appear in this video. This is why, like, and Ross Coulthart's retweeting him. Do you guys get what I'm talking about now? Do you understand why I'm going Darth Ashton? All of these people are connected to one another. They're retweeting each other. They're all pushing the same fake videos over and over and over again. They're spreading this narrative about something being nefarious that's happening related to this drone stuff. And the only thing they aren't doing is providing any real evidence. They're pushing fake shit with fake innuendo and fake narratives, just like Richard Geldrich is doing right here in this post, where he's claiming the Foo Fighters are out, guys. The Foo Fighters. This is just like World War II. Everybody get excited. Where's the Reddit meme, guys? Where's the Reddit meme? Reddit meme aliens. Where is it? Oh God, I don't have it. This is just, there's an image out there. I wish I had it on demand for you guys, where you're looking at it and it's the picture of like the neckbeard Reddit guys, and they're looking out into space. This is just like the movies, guys. Just like the movies. The aliens are here, and the aliens are going, you must make a one world government, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's what this is all. Like, this is just, I can't even believe this shit's real. I actually can't even believe that these people are doing this, trying to push this shit. Like, and it gets worse. Like, here's Jeremy Corbell getting in on the grift. Like, this is how seriously they take the topic. Here's Jeremy Corbell pretending to use a red phone because the joke here is that we have to call the president up. We got the drones that are out there on the East Coast, everybody. Stop the presses. It's Independence Day. It's all happening. And you guys realize, look, Ross Coulthart retweeting Jeremy Corbell. You guys realize all of these people are connected. Do you understand now why nothing has ever been accomplished in the UFO community ever? Because these people are all just fucking frauds and idiots. They're just complete morons. They literally can't even tell when they're looking at an airplane in a video. And we're supposed to go with their judgment on quantum mechanics? We're supposed to listen to Ross Coulthart and Jeremy Corbell and their opinions on this? Why in the hell should we be listening to what Ross Coulthart or Jeremy Corbell think about this video? They can't even tell when they're looking at an airplane on a video. And they think it's fucking aliens. You gotta be kidding me, man. These people are morons. Wow. Okay. Now that we've hated on them, I don't think I'm going to hate on any more of those people. I just wanted to call out a few of them. Yeah, they literally have indicator lights on them. It's not like it's like a plane that doesn't have its lights for some reason. What I will point out, I'm not going to go pick on other people and random commenters, but many people were replying to me and they were trying to say that, oh, it's the UFOs are just morphing into airplanes. I'm not even kidding with you guys. I'm literally not kidding. They were literally saying, what if the UFOs are just morphing into airplanes? Are you fucking kidding me, guys? Are you actually kidding me? These are the people that think teleportation is not possible. Teleportation, aka a wormhole, is an actual mathematical solution to Einstein's general relativity. It's real science 100%. It's theoretical in the sense that nobody's actually seen a teleportation event or a wormhole until we revealed it for the very first time right here. This is the only wormhole event ever seen in the public view. But it is unambiguously a mathematical solution to Einstein's general relativity. Shape-shifting aliens and shape-shifting UFOs have no basis in physical theory, theoretical or practical. None. The main reason being that if you were to change the mass of your object, you're producing free energy. So for the people that want to say, oh, it's a shape-shifting UFO that's turning into an airplane, well, the only way that's even remotely possible is if somebody is 3D printing matter straight out of the ether, which I would actually argue isn't unreasonable. It's just way, way, way too advanced compared to what we would be at. So if somebody wants to make that argument, great, because it proves me correct. So if they want to go like, oh, yeah, it's programmable matter and we're pulling matter out of the ether or whatever. Okay, make that argument, because I'm going to say, okay, you're basically saying that Ashton Forbes is correct about all the physics, because I'm the one saying that free energy is possible. If you believe that you can shape-shift the UFO and change its mass, then you are saying you believe in free energy, because mass is energy. So if you're producing mass out of the ether, you're producing energy out of the ether. By definition, there's no other possibility. That's it. So that's the point why I don't even care if people want to make that argument. I want to hear them explain the physics of how they think that's possible. That's what I want. Okay. Let's go to, I want to shout out this other guy. Oh, actually, okay. Now I want to go to my other post then. So what is my opinion of all this? Because people saw me going hard on it. Okay, let me address this other thing too. Your ego is bigger than the plane go boom boom. Guys, let me address this. Just because you're an idiot, just because you don't know how physics works, just because you're mad that I'm going to be proven right, that doesn't make me a narcissist. That also doesn't make me egotistical. That's not even what narcissism is, actually. A lot of people confuse someone being right with someone being arrogant. Being confident is not a mental illness, not even remotely. I think that the problem is that you got the creeping feeling is sipping in that you're trapped in the corner. I have trapped you guys in the corner, and you know what? You want to hear the big reveal? Here comes the big reveal. I did so intentionally. I planned it out all from the beginning. I made sure that I covered every single base. We're playing musical chairs, just you and me, the debunker person or whatever. And I made sure that every chair was going to disappear except for the chair that I'm going to sit on. I made it so that there is nothing that you can possibly argue except for to admit that I'm right when all this comes out. I'm leaving no other narratives where there's a way where Ashton is wrong and the UFO thing is real. Why? Because I already know all the answers, so it's pretty easy. I already know it's going to be about plasma orbs. I already dug into all the physics. I already know that free energy is possible. I already know all about 0-point energy. This is why I intentionally carve certain questions like, what is the power source? Because if you admit what the power source is, then you have to admit that Ashton's correct. So what's happening is that people are starting to realize that I've trapped them, and it's already too late. Everything's already been immortalized. You can't go back in time. I've already gone on 100 podcasts and said all this stuff. So all of my claims have already been out there and they can never be taken back. So these people are now starting to realize, oh shit, we're fucked. There's no narrative that we can push that Ashton will be wrong and we'll be correct. There's nothing. And now they're starting to panic. And now so what do you do when you're panicked, when you have that creeping feeling in the back of your mind that you are going to be proven incorrect and the person you hate the most is going to be right? What do? You attack them personally. You start saying, they're narcissistic, they're egotistical, they're an asshole. Because you're trying to give yourself a reason to ignore what they said. And if you guys we'll look back at my old streams, I already told you all this would happen. I predicted all of it. I told you that their next play would be, yes, Ashton's right about all this, but he was an asshole to me and he made me feel bad, so I'm justified in ignoring him. There's actually a live stream where I said those exact words, and you're actually watching it play out right now in real time. I basically just predicted the future. It's easy to do when you already know the answer. You are attacking everyone, Ashton. No, not everyone. I'm just attacking the liars. I'm just attacking the people that did me dirty. If you go look carefully, you'll realize I actually never go and directly attack people without responding, without it being in retaliation. The only reason why I even went at Chris Mellon is because he replied to somebody else with some flippant comment about me and the case. That was the only reason. He made a stupid comment about Tupac and he got called out. I only went after Hunter Mellon because he started trying to defend his father's honor and shit. And he started making up weird claims about how Ashton says we're hiding some secret devices and Ashton has to prove that I'm a Nepo baby. It's like, yeah, I just looked at your LinkedIn, bro. It wasn't that hard. It was easy to prove. And all these other people that you saw me calling out today. Jeremy Corbell literally blackballed me from going on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan admitted it in the middle of the episode. Ross Coulthart refused to have me on multiple times, even though he's been spammed about me. And he knows the theory, and it's consistent with everything that he's been pushing. Richard Geldrich guy was trying to literally get everybody in the UFO community to block me when I only had a few thousand followers to try to prevent the case from blowing up. Now that I've got hundreds of thousands of followers and they can't do anything about me anymore, now the narratives have shifted. Now it's not about trying to block Ashton from going on podcasts, trying to block people from listening to him. Now it's all, Ashton's an asshole. Ashton was mean to me, everybody. Yeah, you fucking deserved it. And I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm just getting started. Do you not realize this? I have been 100% clear about exactly every single thing that I'm going to do. I am going to destroy the lives of every single person who tried to put me down, who tried to minimize the videos, who tried to prevent me from going on podcasts. I'm going to destroy your whole life. Do you not realize this? I've been clear about this from the beginning. When the videos are proven true, I'm going to go on to every single podcast, TV show, anywhere they have me, and I'm going to call you people out by name, just like I'm doing right now, but to millions and millions of people, so that the whole world hates you forever. Do you get that? So if you don't want that to happen to you, you should go back in time and undo what you did. Or if you don't want that to happen, you should just start apologizing right now, even though I'm not accepting apologies. Because to be 100% clear, I'm not accepting apologies in the future. I'm not going to listen to people say, well, I thought that was silly before and I called you a bunch of mean names. But you know what? Like, now that the mainstream media has accepted it to be real, I want to apologize. No, fuck you. This is what you should do in the future. You should reflect on your life decisions. You should reflect on how you treat people that you think are grifters and scammers and hoaxers or whatever that are bullshit. You should reflect on what you think is real and what you think is fake. That's what I want those people to do. There we go. Okay. Now that I've addressed that, hit all the donations. Great. Now let's pull it back a little bit. Okay. Now that we've called those people out, what is my real nuanced opinion on the drone situation? Okay. What's my real nuanced opinion on this whole situation that's going on? So something is obviously going on. There's something happening. It might just be mass hysteria. Might be actually something really occurring out there. I'm leaning on something really happening. It's impossible to say what's really going on without more data. Because unless the government actually releases some footage of whatever these drones are that are going around, we're never going to get a satisfactory resolution. This is just like we had with the February 2023 shootdowns, where those drones were shot down, or weather balloons or whatever the fuck it was, over Alaska. And nothing ever came from it. Like, it was in the news for like a week and then nothing ever came from it. Thank you, David Pierce, by the way. I appreciate you, brother. Nothing ever came from that. That's what's going to happen in this case as well, unless the government themselves gives us a video. Why? Because we're at the point where we need high quality military footage. It needs to be in infrared, frankly. The big problem people are having is they're filming airplanes at nighttime through trees and clouds and shit like that. And then they're just imagining extra stuff going on. If we're looking at it in infrared, then we can see the heat signatures, the time of day doesn't matter anymore, etc. There was something else somebody said. Yeah, and it's hyper sensationalism. It really is. What's happening right now is probably a combination of mass psychosis and as well as just way too much sensationalism that's building it up. It also reminds me of the Miami Mall aliens situation, which I got so much shit for, and it was probably somewhat deserved. But what happened with the Miami Mall alien situation was that somebody started spreading this word that there was these shadow creatures, and then all of a sudden people started playing into it, and they started going, I was at that mall that day. I saw the shadow aliens myself, and it was no cap, guys. It was totally real. And then a bunch of other people started doing it too. And then some people started posting videos, and the videos were like super fake, and they didn't really show any shadow aliens or whatever. And it just got its own life of its own after that. That's kind of what's happening with this drone situation right now. And the best thing that we can really hope for is we can hope for the government to release videos, and they're not going to. There's just basically no chance. So instead, we're going to be stuck with a bunch of people with their Nokias taking videos of the sky of blurry crap that's totally out of focus, or 1,000 feet or 1,000 miles away or whatever. Not 1,000, but 50 miles away or whatever it is. And it's not going to be compelling. That's why the MH370 videos are so important. The MH370 videos are not Nokia phones. Well, we're not looking at a Nokia phone when we're looking at this video here. This is not a Nokia phone. This is not even super clear what the apparatus is here. If we didn't have NROL 22 in the bottom left, and if it didn't say satellite, video, airliner, and UFOs, we wouldn't even know we were looking at satellite video here. So we need stuff that's like super high quality, guys. That's the only way it's going to happen. Now, today, I pointed out like 3 different videos that are 100% no doubt airplanes that people were sharing. They were pretending was, alien drones or whatever, sharing these videos that are just easily debunked. Like, this is Mick West and the debunker crew are salivating. They're salivating because people are sharing these airplane videos and they're just laughing, going, "You're just giving us free points here. It's just free layups." They're looking at it, they're going, they use this to discredit the whole community. You share fake ass videos of a time lapse of just satellites and stuff floating around the sky, and you claim that it's orbs and drones, and you claim that it's the Foo Fighters from World War II, and the whole world's fucking laughing at you because you're an idiot. You say, "Oh, I'm looking at a UFO, and it's a fucking airplane. You can see the shape of the airplane, and you can see the navigation lights on it." And people go, "This is why all the UFO community people are nut jobs. They can't tell when they're looking at an airplane." And then they use that to discredit the whole thing. There might be something real here. But the problem is that now that everybody's sharing these videos and pretending like airplanes are more like Power Ranger megamorphing, like Zords or some shit, nobody takes them seriously anymore. It's ridiculous. And I'm willing to believe literally anything that there's evidence for. I'm disclosing that we have teleportation technology and free energy. So if you actually showed me any real evidence that UFOs or drones are shape-shifting like they're fucking Transformers, I would be willing to believe it. But there isn't any. It's just speculation and innuendo. That's it. The same reason why the Patrick Jackson guy is talking about, "I know these orbs are the defense mechanism for the world, and if I draw circles around the orbs, I can tell you if it's a type 1 or type 2 orb configuration." It's just made up shit. It sounds neat, but it's just made up. This is the stuff that discredits the UFO community. This is why I'm not on anybody's side, because the whole UFO community is completely full of shit. Everybody on all sides. All of them. And I feel bad for the real UFO enthusiasts out there. Many of you are probably watching this stream who just want to get the truth. Because you got to deal with all this sensationalism. You got to deal with the dishonest debunkers. And when this stuff happens, you just gave the debunkers a free W. You just gave them a free W. Now, the last thing I want to say is this. If these UFOs, orbs, drones, airplanes, whatever, if these were aliens or Russia or China, if they were China, if these were incursions, then by definition, they would be a danger to the public. If there's an alien orb flying over New Jersey, that is by definition a danger to the public. You would shoot them down, exactly. You would at least send something out there to get it off the ground, shoot an EMP at it, gunfire, whatever you got to do to get it onto the ground. Same if it was Russia or China. You would not be letting it just hover over residential areas. What if it's got a warhead on it? It could have a warhead on it. Like, guys, we're watching videos of little commercial drones with bombs on them blowing people up in the Ukraine. You can go watch. There's probably like a dozen videos. I'm not going to show it because it's horrific. There's people running away from drones, and the drone flies into them and blows them to pieces. Suicidal drone. You think we're just going to let drones from other countries float around above our residential areas where they could have weapons, missiles, they could just be bombs that are set to run into people? Of course not. You guys got to think logically here, man. So what does that mean? That means that whatever this is, it's got to be under our control. We've got to know what it is. One, somebody knows what it is. And it's almost certainly under our control. When I say our control, I mean somebody that is affiliated with the United States. Could be defense contractor technology. Could be a random hobbyist. I doubt it's hobbyists. Could be the military. Could be several other things. Now, people that are saying that, okay, well, why would they fly these drones? There's actually a very plausible explanation that was given. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the link right away. It was a few days ago. Very plausible explanation that was, we can't test our super advanced drones out over our adversaries' areas because they have surveillance. They can see them. It's safer to test our drone technology over our own homeland. Now, you could argue, well, wouldn't they test it at like Area 51? Yeah, maybe they probably already did. In fact, they might be testing the technology to see how it shows up and how we respond as like a test to see how foreign adversaries would respond. They might be wondering like, hey, what happens when people start seeing these things? Do they show up on radar? Are helicopters going to come out after them or what have you? It's pretty dark, but it's a possibility, right? So I'm just throwing that out there. And that's what apparently Fox News was told. Fox News was straight up told, or at least they reported, doesn't necessarily mean it's true. They reported that this was our drone technology that was being tested over residential areas because we can't test it in war areas. If it crashes, somebody else gets it and they get access to it. So we got to test it somewhere where we have control over the airspace. Okay. Let me see what we got in the questions. Okay, boys, someone just hit me with some donations here. Yeah, okay, here we go. Tyler McFarland, you are 100% right. You have them bent over the barrel. Seeing anything other than an airplane is insanity. They definitely ran out of ideas and they're irrationally grasping at bullshit in a panic. The part that I can't get over is that these same people that cannot distinguish an airplane can't even tell they're looking at an airplane on a cell phone video, which is just like super, super obvious. These are the same people that are adamant that I'm hurting the UFO community by promoting the two highest quality UFO videos to ever exist in ever in history of man. There is no better, no more no higher credibility videos than this video and the satellite video that goes along with it. In fact, it's still not clear to me, and maybe you guys can tell me, has there ever been UFO videos, two videos from two different angles of the same event like this with their military videos? I don't think there's ever been anything even like this before, which goes to show just how incredibly sophisticated this would require to be a hoax. I mean, you can just, there's no question here. Like we're looking at an airplane right here. Like there's no question. We're looking at a Boeing, not just an airplane. It's 100% a Boeing 777. In fact, we know it's a Boeing 777 200ER because it's MH370. This is one of the things. The people that can't even tell that are looking at an airplane can't tell that we're looking at a real plane here with a real heat signature in the belly. That like, there's so many details in this video that are just 100% impossible to fake, 100% impossible to fake. And yet, instead of promoting real videos, these people are stuck on promoting videos of obvious airplanes claiming that there's some anomalous propulsion. Just Jesus Christ, chat. What is going on with this community? Okay. Love your work, Muscles. Star Trek is coming in hot. Hell yeah, guys. Star Trek. Okay. Gravity, no glitter. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, Tom and David as well. We're looking for a nuclear threat mobile bomb scanning large areas. Makes the most sense. That would be interesting. Yeah. What if we're using these drones for like some sort of surveillance capabilities? Not sure. I do want to shout out this older donation that I got on Friday from Oscar. I'm not going to say your last name because I don't want to dox you. $20 donation on Cash App. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I also will address, and I want to thank MH370X once again for all the hard work that you guys have done. I think it was Ryan pointed out that I don't thank them enough. It's probably true. I think I thank you guys quite a bit, but yeah, you guys have done a crazy amount of work as well. So thank you guys very much. Everybody in the Discord. In fact, I'll go ahead and post a Discord link if anybody wants to join the Discord tonight. I do also want to say real quick while I'm pulling this up that I've said this before, but I have hit the point where I just, between my job and how big everything's gotten on social media, I don't have the capability to respond to all DMs and direct messages and stuff like that anymore. So don't take it personally. I'm honestly like weeks behind on my messages, and I'm trying to prioritize ones where people have asked me to come on their shows and stuff like that. Okay. I have seen the Turkish UFOs. I would argue the Turkish UFO video is the second best video that's out there. I think that, well, other than like the Navy, DOD videos, the fleet, the Go Fast or whatever. But yeah, the Turkey one's good too. But the Turkey one has nothing on the MH370 videos. It's really not comparable. I think there is a Liberty Engine schematic. You guys can go through my tweets. There is a secret sauce related to the, is it the stator? Whatever the spinny thing is. If you dig through my tweets, you can find it. Once again, guys, this is something else, though, too, is that I actually don't advocate for people building their own over Unity devices, because when it comes to engineering and experimentation, you're not going to get it right in the first time, and you're probably going to be let down. If you're out there thinking, oh, I'm just going to follow these steps and I'm going to have my free energy device, you are absolutely going to be let down. It doesn't work that way. You need to understand the concepts, and you're going to have to tune it. You would have to tune it over probably several weeks, if not longer, till you get to a point where you're actually getting significant over Unity. Otherwise, you're just going to be let down. And in some cases, I saw a lot of debunk videos on the Liberty Engine. People weren't even using the right wheel. Like they were just like, oh, I just made a wheel out of epoxy. And the people are like super specific that there is a specific metal composition alloy that they used. And I looked it up, and there's actually something pretty unusual about that alloy. So that's the only reason why I don't advocate for it. But I do think that you should follow your heart with whatever, but just realize a lot of people have said, hey, go ahead and build a plasma thing, right? Well, we looked at the ball lightning study paper by Eric Davis, and in there are 2 experimental setups with cost breakdown for every single component required to make these EVOs. And one of them, the cheaper one, the cost was $120,000. $120,000. And that was in $2004. It's 2024. So with inflation, it's probably 100% more expensive than that. So you're basically looking at $250,000 to be able to produce an EVO. $250,000 in equipment required. Do you guys understand that this is not a type of situation where anyone can just build it in their garage? This is the reason why it's so easy to gatekeep and suppress the information, because it just doesn't, like, you have to put this huge amount of investment just to begin to experiment. So yeah, and somebody else is saying, yes, more like 300,000. And that's and even if you do that, you're not going to get anything that's going to blow anyone's mind. You're not going to get anything that blows anyone's mind. When we're talking about the orbs in the MH370 videos, to make something like this, which these orbs we've estimated, I think, are 20 to 30 feet across. We can only estimate. We can't know for sure. At least the field around them is. To make orbs like this, I would guess these orbs are worth $1 billion a piece. $1 billion a piece. Like, there's probably some extremely advanced mechanical device in the center of these orbs that is worth huge amounts of money. Huge amounts. So I just want you to keep that in context. Like, there's no way we can build these orbs. No chance in hell. I'm not even sure Elon Musk could build these orbs. The people that the defense contractors are like the only ones that have the money. The defense contractors have labs that have tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment. Okay, so let's just set that straight as well. Can you tell us your most likely flat Earth theory? Yeah, my most likely flat Earth theory is that the Earth is round. Right? That's the answer. I wish I had an apple or a circle. Or here's the simplest debunk. Oh, go fund me an EVO at Liberty device. No way. No, we're not doing that. If I start raising money for like literally anything, you're gonna see the attacks ramp up like 100-fold. I wish I had an orange, because I would want to just hold up an orange here and ask you, is the orange flat? Is the orange flat? And if your answer is no, the orange is round, why isn't the orange flat? Why is the Earth flat, but the orange is not flat? Even better question. And I'll probably just ask Witzlet this as himself. How come all the other planets in the solar system are round, but ours isn't? We can literally just look and see that all the other planets in the solar system are round. How can we tell that? Because we can tell they're rotating, because we can see actual geological things on them, unique aspects about them that we can't see half the time because they're spinning. Because they're spinning around, because it's the spinning ball. You could argue with the moon, you could at least make, it'd be a stupid argument, but you could make an argument to say that the moon is flat because we always see the same features on the moon. But the only reason why we're seeing that is because the moon is tidally locked. The moon is tidally locked to us, so the same side is always facing us as it spins around us. But when we look at the other planets out there, we can see that they are not tidally locked, that they're spinning. So I don't know. I don't really want to go into all of it now. I just gave Witzlet a free question there, which is, are we the only flat planet, or are all the other, or what are we? How do you explain the other ones all being round and ours not being? So there you go. I'm not sure why I even answered that question, but there you guys go, chat. Okay. Okay, where are we at here? We're in a dome. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think we're in a dome either, actually. But whatever. Believe whatever you want to believe. Yeah, I know you guys can see my monitor. There's nothing to hide on my monitor, guys. I'm looking around. I got nothing to hide on my monitor. You want to see my Minecraft coordinates? Guys, the ancient city base, guys, minus 24,881 blocks. And then 2,718 blocks. There you guys go, chat. Now you guys know my secret Minecraft base on a server that you don't even know what server it is. You got it. Figured out the secrets, chat. Nah, don't worry, guys. I realized earlier I don't care what people can see. There's nothing to hide. Somebody's gonna snipe me in my Minecraft server now. I can already see it happening. Okay. What was next? Okay, I want to kind of promote or shout out this person that just made some funny stuff that I enjoyed. How do I get back to this? Damn it! I've got so many windows open that I can't even see. Okay, here we go. What was their name? Funny. Oh crap. Funny Hub X. Okay, so this person actually just made some funny AI videos. I mean, they're just nothing too special, but I'm gonna go ahead and share. Oh, actually, I have to switch screen share here. Oh man, why is this not showing up now? Weird. Something's wrong. Oh, there it is. Okay, that was weird. Let me see here. Maybe we have to go to his replies to find them. Here we go. Okay.
$1,000 or dinner with Jay-Z?
Man, give me $500,000. Fuck Jay-Z. Yeah, man. Yeah, nigga, give me $500,000. Man, I don't want. Who want to take a sit down with Jay-Z over $500,000?
You'd be surprised.
It's some people say they want to sit on his lap then. Yeah, they want to jump on his lap and talk to him like he's Santa Claus. Yeah, tell me what you know, Jay-Z. No, nigga, I don't want to know a month. Give me that $500,000. I know what to do with this here now. Yeah, I know what to do. Fuck his conversation. Yeah, it worked for him. It might not work for me.
Would you take $500,000?
Okay, I'm not going to repeat what was said there because I'm a white person and I don't have that pass, but there you go. That was pretty funny. He's got a few others here too. So this is Funny Hub X. I just wanted to shout him out because it looked like he did a decent amount of work. He made like 5 of these. I don't even know how many he made, but there's more than that. Hopefully I don't have to go too far down. It looks like he's pretty active on social media, so it might be hard to find them. Oh, wait. Here we go. Here's the one. Here we go. Here's another. I already tell I like this one.
The game said, Mr. Mara, please fix this dumpster fire. How do you, as a player, like, what do you make of that?
I ain't paid for the plan.
The game said, Mr. Mara, please fix this dumpster fire. How do you, as a player, like, what do you make of that?
I ain't paid for the plan.
The game said, Mr. Mara.
I don't know why I love these so much, chat. These crack me up for some reason. That one was weird. Yeah, that one was like, had some Joe Biden going on in that one, guys. Poor Joe Biden, man. That dude had like some significant cognitive decline. It's just sad looking at his old stuff. Or it could also be something like, have you guys seen Mitch McConnell recently? Mitch McConnell like actually doesn't look like he's alive anymore. It looks like Weekend at Bernie's. Like it's messed up. Oh, here we go. We got more. That's me, right? Is that me? Chat, is this me? Is this supposed to be me, chat? I don't know if it's me. I think it's maybe.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the
Is that supposed to be me? I actually can't tell.
best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It
Well, Dick,
kind
here's
of
the
looks
deal.
like
I'm
me,
the
but
best
not
there is.
quite. It looks like a bad AI on that one. Okay, there's like one more at least, I think. Let me see if I can find it. This guy's really just popping off, huh? I hope I don't run into some like full frontal nudity here while I'm scrolling through this. Guys, I have to be careful when I show. Oh, here we go. Here's one more. Oh, yeah, no, there's more. There's more. Okay. We're going to talk briefly about the Hunter Mellon thing, but not too much.
Well, hey, everybody, it's Friday all day, as my Nana would say. And look what I have on my lip. Everybody's been saying, you have herpes all this time, and I never had a cold sore in my life. And now I have a cold sore. And it makes me think that perhaps this weird pimple that had a tiny little head was a cold sore too. And so I talked to my doctor today, and I did a video telehealth. And they said that it's not a cold sore. It's some reaction to the sun. Now, I did sit in the sun yesterday, but I had sunscreen on. So I don't know. I will let you know tomorrow if I do, in fact, have herpes, as some of the taunting from the MAGA people in the last couple of weeks. Hasn't it been fun, ladies and gentlemen?
What? Okay, obviously this is AI, but I can't get over the real sound I'm hearing in the background. Somebody was being taunted by MAGA people to the point where the MAGA people were saying they had herpes on their lip, to the point where they got so self-conscious about it that they had to go get tested, get it checked out. Whew. Wow. Also, this is like, this AI is actually really good. This, like, I don't want to publicly defame Hunter Mellon, but that was, wow, pretty good. Okay. Where's the last one? There's one more, I think. This guy was just on fire. Wait, is this one? No. This guy. Is that it? Yeah, here it is. Here's the last one. Okay. This might be the first one. I love this. That was supposed to be Rosie O'Donnell? That was Rosie O'Donnell? That was actually Rosie O'Donnell? That makes it 1,000. That was actually Rosie O'Donnell? That makes it 1,000 times better. Wow. That was Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, man. I'm going to have to dig down that rabbit hole after this. Okay. Imagine if this becomes true one day. And basically, everybody in the UFO community's heads would explode if this happens one day. If this were to ever happen, you would actually just watch people's heads just literally explode off their bodies. These people hate me about as much as they hate Donald Trump, and they really, really hate Donald Trump. Like a lot. Okay. So anyway, that was, if you guys want to know, if you want to follow that person, that is at FunnyHubX. At FunnyHubX. A centralized hub for funny memes, videos, and stand-up comedians. I like them. I think they're pretty funny. I like it. Okay. Yeah. And as somebody was pointed out, I think it was Big Pooh Hermes was pointing out as well, as, man, I rattled up the hornet's nest. I rattled up that hornet's nest. So if you missed out on the big thing, so after I called out Chris Mellon, everybody's, Ashton, why are you being so mean to all the UFO people? Blah, blah, blah. And then I see this guy, Hunter Mellon, like in the replies, and I'm going, is that real? Hunter Mellon? I'm like, is that a coincidence? So first thing you do is you Google his name. Actually, the first thing I did was I Googled the Mellon family, and I found out that that was Chris Mellon's son. I'm like, wait, this guy's got his adult son in his Twitter replies trying to defend his father's honor? Okay. So you go look at his profile, and it's full on TDS in his profile. He's got a pinned tweet talking about how Republican extremism is a danger to democracy. Jesus Christ, man. And he's got Harvard Law in his bio. And I'm going, oh boy. I can already see where this is going. I can already see where it's going. Keep in mind, guys, I went to Washington University in St. Louis. They call it like actually, I think they used to call it the Harvard of the Midwest, which is kind of a joke because it's not really a Ivy League school. It's the school that basically all the East Coast rich kids went to if they couldn't get into Ivy League schools. How did I get in? I don't know. Got lucky. I got a 1400 in my SATs. Not afraid to talk about what my SAT score is. Okay. Because why would I give a shit what people think about my SAT score? So I then said stuff about debating people. I actually don't even think I challenged Hunter Mellon directly. I actually was challenging his father, the Jeremy Corbell people of the world, and people that actually matter. Those are the people that I really want to debate with. Why? Because they're literally telling people not to talk to me, and they're trying to tell people that the videos are real while they're pushing fake shit. Those are the people that I want to debate. Why? Because I'll crucify them. Heck, I've got like clips for days. I keep thinking about, if I go on Joe Rogan, I'm literally just going to take my 1,000 clips that I have, and I'm going to be ready and have them all named exactly what I want. And I'm going to send them to Jamie Vernon. And I'm going to be like, Jamie, play clip of Jeremy Corbell saying that Commander Fravor was, excuse me, that he was told that the Tic Tac is U.S. technology. I'd be like, Jamie, just play the clip called Corbell Fravor CIA.
Commander Fravor the other day, and he shared some information that came to him that was just, email style. But George, it was passage material. And I don't know if people on our podcast know what that means, but sometimes in SAPs or special access programs, they have what they call passage material. It's material that is leaked to people. But the thing is that this material is being passed around to people like even Commander Fravor, where they're trying to kind of convince him that Lockheed Martin, as an example,
Lockheed Martin
had some sort of similar technology to what he saw.
What he saw. Can you imagine me doing a debate with Jeremy Corbell and I just play that clip? I'm going, hey guys, we've figured out the technology. Lockheed Martin literally has it. And then Jeremy Corbell is trying to go, no, it's the aliens. The aliens must have it. And I just literally play a clip of Jeremy Corbell saying that CIA told Commander Fravor that it's Lockheed Martin technology. and that Jeremy Corbell, with no evidence whatsoever, is trying to claim that they're pushing disinformation to try to convince people we have technology and it must be aliens. Holy shit. Imagine if I got to debate Lou Elizondo and I go, hey, Lou, so why is it you haven't talked about the MH370 videos, right? And then I just go, Jamie, play the clip.
Did you see the theory on the missing?
I'm not going to play this whole one here.
Airline, there were some people that were claiming there was maybe some UAP involvement.
Some people, this is Lou Elizondo's pretending again like he doesn't know me. This is the same bullshit that Lou Elizondo did with Stephen Greer. Imagine being a counterintelligence agent in the UFO community and pretending not to know who all the prominent players are. Like, it's sad. These people think they're so smart. They're working off this like 80s disinformation playbook that's completely outdated, that like has no basis in the social media world, right?
I don't know. I did not pursue it. I know some of the people.
So let's just get this clear. Like, I would literally be like, hey, Joe Rogan, so I'm trying to tell you that warp drives and wormholes are real. You had this guy on called Lou Elizondo who was promoting his book. And in his book, he says he saw a video of 3 orbs circling around a Predator drone. Huh. That sounds familiar. Play the clip.
People that I've talked to were dead for it and dead against it. Something it's a complete nonsense. Right. It's fake. Others said, no, that looks, legit. And I could not tell you, Len. I have no idea.
And then I would say, hey, Joe Rogan, can you pull up the DMs that I sent you back in February before you had Lou Elizondo on? And read what the last one says. And we would read it out. I'm going to go pull it up right now, actually. Joe Rogan. Guys, should we reveal Joe Rogan DMs today? Maybe we should reveal Joe Rogan DMs today. Okay. I think we're going to do it. Let me just make sure there's nothing else serious. Let me make this smaller or something. There we go, like that. I did send him one more follow-up back in May of last year. I'm going to reveal these DMs today. Here we go. I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing. Wait. Sometimes I put like personal information here. Let me just double check. Looks good. We're just going to take the risk. Here we go. Boom. Okay. So I hope people don't think I'm making this up because I just literally did that in real time right now. Okay. Hey, Joe, last message I'll send you. You can see the date right here, February 13th, 2024. So this was when you guys have a full timeline now. Like it was 4 days after this. It was around February 9th is when he canceled. February 13th, I sent the last message. Thank you for even considering me as a guest. And I totally understand how the situation is too sketchy. It probably would have turned a lot of people against me anyway had I done it. Someday in the future, when this type of technology is proven to be real, I hope that the world can consider what really happened to MH370. If you're interested in trying to help move the needle forward on advanced technology that third-party defense contractors are hiding, I would humbly suggest trying to get Hal Puthoff on your show. I'm sure he has NDAs, but he'll be able to say enough. Love you, Joe, and thanks and your podcast. So I told him that he should go talk to Hal Puthoff. Who did Lou Elizondo tell Joe Rogan to talk to? Hal Puthoff, right after he talks about warp drive and wormhole technology with Joe Rogan. Do you guys not think it's weird that anybody out there who's talking about warp drives and wormholes, I know who they are. Anybody out there talking about 0-point energy, any prominent figure, I know who they are. Like Nassim Haramein, Mark McCullough, all these other guys. I know all about their shit. Of course I do. You'd be an idiot not to. So don't you think it's a little weird that Lou Elizondo is pretending not to know who I am when obviously he admitted to Glenn Beck there that he is fully aware of the videos and he's had multiple people on both sides talking to him about it? Doesn't it seem kind of weird that he's never brought me up, never brought the videos up on any of his interviews? Isn't it kind of weird that Lou Elizondo has me blocked? Isn't it kind of bizarre? Considering I'm pushing the exact science that he's claiming UFOs use? Pretty bizarre, guys. I'll show the last message here as well, even though I haven't vetted this before I said it. So somebody told me in May, they were like, Ashton, you have to send another thing to him. And I basically told him, fine, have me on. I'll refute all the debunks on your show if that's what you want to do. I'll do anything, whatever you need to feel comfortable, whatever we need to address to feel comfortable. I basically said, I'll do any of it. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of debunk attempts. I said I would debate anyone on the show that you want. Bring a physicist on, bring an MH370 expert on, bring a UFO person on, bring anyone you want on. I am not afraid of any of them. So I gave it one last shot. Obviously, you can see I never got a response. This was back in May. This was the very last message. You can see there's no more messages after this. I know you think the MH370 videos are CGI or whatever. They are not. You've been interviewing people talking about the same science the videos uncover. I can explain it in more detail than Terrence Howard did and provide sources for where it comes from, including Thomas Bearden. Here's my proposal to you. If you're not convinced at the end of our discussion, I will stop investigating MH370 and not mention the plane for an entire year. This should satisfy those who think I'm hurting the families or whatever other nonsense. I'm just a normal guy, and I will risk everything for one chance to show the world that free energy is possible. The reason I'm willing to do this is because it's possibly the greatest revelation in the history of the world. The MH370 videos are the proof we've been waiting for. Thanks for your consideration. So that's it, chat. Okay. Now, we went a little bit side on that, but what this led to, this beef that I was beefing with the Mellon family, who, by the way, they're like some of the richest, most prominent American families ever to exist in our country, led to a situation where I keep calling him Hunter Biden. I didn't actually mean to call him Hunter Biden. A lot of people thought I was making a joke. It's just that Hunter Biden's name's been said so much. You don't have a lot of Hunters out there. That was a little bit disrespectful to say, but whatever. It was just a slip of the tongue. Then he started challenging me in Twitter posts. And first of all, you don't do a debate in Twitter posts. That's not a debate. That's just some tweets. You can do that anytime you want. And he started making up fake quotes about me, like literally fake quotes. He put it in quotes and it wasn't even a quote. He started quoting me on a quote that I never said, saying that his family is hiding certain technologies. And the real quote was that the Hunter Mellon, the Mellon family is the type of elite family that is gatekeeping this technology and information. That's a far cry from claiming that somebody's got a free energy device in their house. Of course, I can't know if somebody's got a free energy device in their house. What I'm saying is that Chris Mellon knows about these technologies and he's not talking about them. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that Chris Mellon is intentionally not talking about them for national security reasons. I don't think Chris Mellon has ever said the word 0-point energy before. He knows it's legit. You know how I know Chris Mellon knows it's legit? Because he was in To the Stars Academy with Hal Puthoff, who is the world's leading expert at 0-point energy. And their whole goal was to commercialize advanced UFO technology. That was TTSA's goal originally. If you go read it, you can probably still find it. So after a bunch of posts, I was just in a space. I decided to join a space. I was bored, right? I was like, I'm going to join this Twitter space. And just we were having a great conversation, actually. And eventually, Hunter Mellon, somebody reached out to him and they got him to join the space. He was terrified to join the space. He was trying to say that I was dodging him. And I'm like, dude, we can just have it in this space. There's like 300 people waiting for him. So we finally get in there. And it devolves right away. It devolves right away because he wants me to prove that his family has secret technology in their house, which is a stupid argument because it's not something you can prove. It's an unprovable argument, unprovable claim. So obviously, therefore, it falls under the era of opinion. People are allowed to have whatever opinions they want to have. And when someone gives an opinion, usually the counter is you give your counter opinion. That's how conversations work. I say one thing and you say the other. And the people decide what they believe. It's called a debate. Instead, Hunter Mellon went full retard right away. Like full on retard 101. And it really exposed him, where he immediately started saying, well, you haven't proven anything. I need you to prove to me in a court of law that we're hiding technology. And I was like, what? I was like, this isn't a court of law, man. This is the court of public opinion. And I'm telling you that I have an opinion, and this is what my opinion is. Of course, I can't prove that you have a free energy device in your house. Of course, I can't prove that. That's stupid. And he thinks that's some kind of gotcha or something like that. So then after that side, the topic finally changes. And I say, okay, whatever. What other are? And I give him. It was his choice on what topics to talk about. That's what he wanted to talk about. And then and also, by the way, in the text messages or posts that we had back and forth, I gave him a list of like 5 questions. Like I explained the nuance of the hiding the technology to him and said, okay, now you give me your answers to these questions. And he wouldn't respond. He wouldn't answer any of them. He said, nope, this isn't how it works. I'm not going to answer any of those questions. So even before he joined, he wasn't answering any questions. Then he wouldn't answer the question about the technology. And then after the technology, we got into the nepotism argument, which again is an opinion that I gave, which is factually true, actually. I mean, you just look at his LinkedIn profile. Hunter Mellon is 100%, no doubt, a Nepo baby. No chance. I mean, like literally no doubt. If we went to court, I would just ask for a jury trial because all 12 jurors are going to be like, yes, obviously Hunter Mellon's a Nepo baby. There's no secret there, you know? And he's does the same thing. You need to prove that I'm a Nepo baby. So I say, okay, here is your LinkedIn profile. You were a congressional aide when you were like a freshman in college. And then you were working for To the Stars Academy with your dad at a made-up fake role called like digital manager or some shit like that, which TTSA ended up being a fraudulent organization that was like $40 million in debt. And then after that, he was some kind of student role at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Nobody gets those positions. As far as I can tell, those positions don't even exist unless you're a Nepo baby. And then his last position was that his dad got him a gig with like the Attorney General's office. And you're just looking at that, you're going, you're really trying to tell me you're not a Nepo baby? And his schooling, he went to Georgetown, which is like the school you go to if you want to get into government, and immediately goes into law school. So I don't know if a lot of you people realize this, but people that go directly to law school, 99.9% of the time, they're coming from money. It's the only reason. Most normal people can't afford to go 4 years of college and then go directly into a law school. They usually go and work for a number of years. In fact, if you go and probably Google the average age of people in law school, you're going to find it's like 28 or 30. Hunter Mellon was going at 22. So once again, so I point this out and he says, well, you have to prove it. You didn't prove anything. You're not proving anything. So he keeps deflecting. I say, okay, well, what's your answer? How did you get those jobs? And he says, I don't have to answer that. Well, that's kind of the point. Like, if you're not going to like actually give your opinions and your arguments, it's not really a debate. You know, it's not really a debate. If you're just like, hey, you have to prove this with the court of law. And I'm going, well, it's just my opinion from reading your profile, your publicly available LinkedIn profile. And you're not even going to answer how you got the jobs. If I'm wrong, then how did you get the jobs? It seems like a very simple response. Like if somebody asked me, how did I get my job out of college? I'd be like, well, I met my resident advisor who was a senior when I was a freshman. And I knew the place that she went to work for. And then when I was a senior, she came back on and she was recruiting for that company. And that's how I got that job. I found out about it. That's it. Simple, right? That's how is that a hard thing to do? It's only a hard question to answer if I'm right. And you don't want to admit it. So it objectively looked terrible for Hunter Mellon. Anybody that is saying that Hunter Mellon won the debate or whatever, like they're a complete fucking retard. Just complete retard. Hunter Mellon literally didn't even answer one question. And then it got even worse for him because Jeremy Reese jumped in. And I could tell that Jeremy Reese was like, he wanted to get some answers too. And he's like, well, Hunter, well, what was your SAT scores? Because he's like, Harvard has really high admission requirements. And Georgetown does too. So he's like, well, why don't you then just tell us, because he's demanding that we prove that he's a Nepo baby. So Jeremy actually came up with a great argument. What was your SAT scores then? Mine was 1,400. That got me into WashU. I got 800 on the math. I got 600 on the verbal. I don't have to answer that. He got super defensive again. Refused to answer the question. People are like, why is it relevant? It's relevant because the whole debate and the argument, the topic is Hunter Mellon's a Nepo baby, and he won't answer what his score was, probably because it was so low that people would have realized there's no chance he got into school on his merits. Like, guaranteed that was going to be the answer. Because otherwise, you would just say what your scores were. What would you have to hide? Why would you be hiding your SAT scores? And then they tried to claim, like, oh, well, SATs are for undergrad. Okay, well, end of the day, what are your LSAT scores? LSAT's what you take to go for law school. Not going to say those either, chat. Not going to say those either. So after about, I don't know, 20 minutes of this guy just dodging every single question, this is when I decided to go hostile with it. So if you're not familiar with the debate, generally you're respectful to people until they refuse to answer questions. When they refuse to answer questions, that's when you start to get hostile with them. This is exactly how I treated Jack Sarfati as well. You guys can go back and watch the interview. It's still on my live streams right now. You go back, and if they refuse to answer questions, if they're trying to dodge or what have you, this is where you start getting aggressive with them. You start pressing them for answers, pressing them. And that's when the co-host started dropping me. Just started dropping me. This guy, Victor, I don't know who he is. I recognize his voice from a while back, but he starts dropping me from my own debate. I let it go the first time, and then he comes back and does it again. And so then I come up and I'm like, dude, get rid of this guy. Like, why is there some co-host dropping me from my own debate? Honestly, one time should be enough. If you are abusing that power one time, you got to be removed from the space. Simple as that. I would never remove a debater from their own debate. For me, if I'm a co-host, I'm just somebody enjoying the show. If anything, I would egg them on. I would never be dropping people out. So after the second time, I said, get this Victor guy the fuck out of here, or we're done. And then he goes and he drops me again and has a full-on meltdown. And then people start messaging me about, okay, he won't do it again, blah, blah, blah. And that's when I'm like, it's already too late, bro. So admittedly, I did something I'm not very proud of, which is I dropped an F-bomb. Not that kind of F-bomb, the other F-bomb. I think it's the first time I've used that word in several years, actually. But that's how they were acting. That was how they were acting. I'm not proud of it. But holy shit, were they annoying. And then they gaslight you too. Like, you're being disrespectful. Fuck, I'm being disrespectful? This guy shows up after I've been waiting for him for 3 hours after he dodges. And then he shows up, won't answer any questions, is making the stupidest arguments about me having to prove that he's a Nepo baby. He won't answer any questions about it. And then I'm getting dropped by the co-host. Of course I'm going to be frustrated by that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So there you guys go. That was the Hunter Mellon blah, blah, blah thing. You know what? There's a little bit more drama on this. I think we're just going to dig in a little bit more into the drama. We have a little bit of time here. I guess this is not going to be a short stream, as I thought. So then everybody's chiming in. Everybody. As Big Pooh was pointing out, let me just make sure we don't have any donations I got to hit up. Oh, yeah, it's a freedom of speech for sure, though. University of Northern Iowa is called the Harvard of the Mid. That's funny. The whole UFO community was triggered. Everybody was making posts about it. The debunkers, the UFO people, they're all, my favorite was, I think I saw the Average Chris guy. God, this guy's the biggest idiot on the fucking planet. Average Chris, man. This guy might be the dumbest of all the debunkers by like a wide margin. He's such a weirdo. He's got a savior complex, which I don't know where it comes from, but it's crazy to watch somebody with a savior complex where they just think they have to protect everybody all the time. And he's also got anger issues where he's like threatened to hurt me in private messages that I've posted before. And he's like, Ashton got dragged by Hunter Mellon. What? I got dragged by Hunter Mellon? Like, of course, somebody like that thinks that somehow looked poorly for me. That's crazy. It's honestly just delusional to think that. The best part about Chris, though, that I happened to see a post from him because he always tags me. So somehow when you have somebody blocked and they tag you, if people reply, it like shows up in your notifications. This is the only way I ever see his shit. I never go look at his profile. And somehow I was tagged in a thing where he was claiming that all these drones that people are seeing, going back to our original topic, all these drones are coming from this one company that makes drones. What's his evidence? None. Like, this guy is that much of an idiot. This is how the debunkers think, is like the way debunker mindset works is you have a conclusion and then you work your way backwards from it. That's how the debunker mindset works. Debunker mindset is these drones are coming from this company here. Why? Because this company exists. What? It's just sad, man. Okay, SAT, ACT scores are meaningless. Yeah, standardized tests don't really mean anything, ultimately. Kind of like all the people who are posting, like, I had 2 people yesterday being like, my IQ, one person, they had it in their profile, my IQ is 186. No, it's not. No, it's not. I guarantee you it's not. The people that like try to boast their IQs, they're like, this is my IQ score. It's like, dude, you can take an online test. Doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. It's like remember when people were in here, that Ethan guy talking about he's in Mensa? If you're new to my show, there would be people that would come into my live streams and they would be like, you don't understand physics. I'm a Mensa member. And you're like, okay, like, you want to explain the physics? No, you should believe me because I'm in Mensa. And I'm like, Mensa is where you go where you need to wear a helmet so you don't hurt yourself because you're like so autistic that your head falls and knocks into things. Crazy. Okay. I already spoke about the drones. If you missed the drone conversation, that was the beginning of the stream. We've moved on from the drone conversation. Okay, next thing. This is that was enough drama for tonight. So, basically after that, just decided, you know what? Just lean into the villain angle. Why do we have sunglasses and black shirt on today? Because we're just leaning into it. Yeah, I just decided, like, I don't like any of these people anyway. I don't have anything personal against them, but I don't like them. I think they're all kind of either morons or fraudsters or grifters or controlled opposition or disinfo, whatever you want to call them. And I was like, why do I even give a shit about what any of these people think? And I realized, I don't give a shit about what any of these people think. I was like, so let's just make it official. Let's make it official. I'm not the good guy. I'm not the hero. Not at all. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm not here to validate your experiences or any of that stuff. I am only here for the truth. I am here to reveal the truth about MH370. I'm here to reveal the truth about our superconductive harmonic plasma orbs that apparently we're fucking hiding from the world that can quite literally teleport an airplane. That's what I'm here for. Anything else, whatever people's expectations, if you've got some expectations of me, just absolve yourself of those notions. All I'm trying to do is get to the truth of that plane. In fact, if I got the truth of the plane, if the government just admitted we stole the plane, I would even be willing to let go of all the free energy and the teleportation and all the other stuff going on. I mean, I know all the technology is real, but I do agree that we're probably going to destroy ourselves with it. End of the day, I think the most important thing is that the families of the victims of that plane deserve to know the full truth. Did their families die because of the fire? Did we kill them after we teleported them and put them to Diego Garcia? Are they still living on Diego Garcia? What's the truth? I don't know. I can speculate, but I don't know. And that only people that can tell us that is the US government. That's the number one thing that I want. Beyond that, free energy for the world. Why do I want free energy for the world? Why? Because there's 670,000 homeless people in the United States. I went to go get dinner earlier tonight, and there's a guy screaming at the top of his lungs in the middle of the street. And you just go, why are people suffering so much? Oh, yeah, because the government's corrupt as shit, and the rich, elite asshole people like the Mellon family, they love the status quo. They love the status quo. They don't care there's homeless people screaming in the streets in the middle of the city. They live in the suburbs in their $20 million mansions. They never interact with that. They never see that in their lives. I see it every single day. Every single day. My car got broken into a couple days ago. I'm kind of glad I just leave the doors open. I have a garage, and my car got broken into in my garage. They stole my credit card. They stole some money. You guys don't go full conspiracy theory on me right now, okay? I didn't tell you guys about this because I was afraid that you guys were going to go full on, like, governments stealing your identity shit. I don't think it's that deep. Point being, there's people suffering out there. There's crime, homelessness, all these problems could all be gone. It's not that kind of garage. The garage was closed, actually. The garage was 100% closed. There we go. They're going to clone Ashton. They already did. What if they already did? What if this isn't even me? What if this me is a different me and the previous me, this is Darth Ashton now. This is the clone of the previous Ashton. You know? Okay. So that's the only reason why I want that stuff. Now, our next stream that we're going to do, the last thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at some of the Tom Montalk stuff. I want to talk a little bit about Tom Montalk. If you guys do have questions, I will start to answer some of those questions. I'm sorry, but the chat's been just going too crazy to hit all the questions. I will try to hit some of those questions just now. Next stream we do, I think it's probably going to be Friday because I did set up a podcast for Wednesday. So I probably won't be able to stream on Wednesday, unfortunately. I think the next stream we're going to do is going to be how to build a doomsday weapon. I think we're going to push it as far as we've ever pushed it. I'm going to see if we get struck down by YouTube. What we're going to do on Friday is we're going to look at that ball lightning paper. We're going to review some of the information that Tom told us about, the Nechamkin paper. And we're going to look and figure out what it would require to get an exponential amplification of energy that would be powerful enough to create a black hole and wipe us all out, basically. We're probably going to have to use AI for some of it, probably do some Google searching on the fly. I don't know if we're going to be successful or not. What I will tell you is this. I already have an equation that I think shows amplification of energy. And it's from what Salvatore Pais said. In fact, I'll show it to you guys right now. People were asking where this equation came from. This is going to be the sneak peek for the next live stream, guys. Oh, crap. How do I get... Okay, here we go. Can I make this bigger? How do you zoom in? Okay, this right here is hybrid craft using inertial mass modification. There were some people out there that were saying that they sent me Sal's papers. No, Sal Pais sent me his own work, all of his own work. I don't even know if some of this stuff is available online. I guess it must be because here's a DOI over here. Sal sent me all of his work, all of his slides, everything he's ever done. So nobody sent me this other than Sal himself. And when you get to equation number 3 down here, Sal has mentioned this several times. And now is the only time where I've finally started to understand it. It says, furthermore, if we consider adding to the equation representing simple harmonic motion and energy momentum pumping, negative dampening term, endemic of system acceleration, where B is a constant and V is basically the distance over time. That's what this is saying here, distance over time, the change in the x-axis over time, namely the speed of the vibrating mass, m, something interesting occurs. It can be shown that the maximum total energy of the vibrating system can be written as E equals m RV squared times omega squared, where omega is the angular frequency of vibration under the condition omega equals B divided by 2m greater than omega naught, the natural frequency of vibration. Since the electromagnetic energy flux is directly proportional to the energy over time, we observe there will be an exponential growth in energy flux with accelerating vibration, especially under the condition of rapid acceleration transients. I finally understand what those words mean. What is he saying right there? He's saying that everything is waves. Everything is waves. And if everything is waves, then what matters is frequency. And they're saying frequency, yes, like, so the Zitrabuagong, I was talking about this in a space the other night. The Zitrabuagong, imagine as the natural oscillation of space-time, of the 0 point energy. The 0 point energy we see is not standing still. The 0 point energy around us is vibrating in resonance all the time, like this. And then the question is, if we create our own vibration, our own frequency, the more we increase that frequency, the spin or the vibration, which are analogous to one another or complement, or let's say interchangeable. So this is why Sal says you can either change this, you can increase the spin or the vibration, and they're both fundamentally the same. Is if you increase the vibration, increase the spin, you're increasing the energy level, but not linearly. You're increasing the energy level exponentially. Exponential growth of energy. That's the huge aspect. Why? Because we're also seeing exponential growth of energy in this MH370 video. Again, remember I said, and this is where I got kind of a weird response from Sal. I mean, maybe I just didn't understand it. But when the orbs are coming together, if you look at the equations for electrical force, if you were to take two of the same polarity electrical forces and jam them together, you're going to have an exponential growth in the energy, in the force. And what is energy? Do you guys know that energy is defined? The definition of energy is the ability to do work, the ability to exert a force. Are you getting it yet? So let's just repeat what I just said right there. Energy itself, this E over here on the left, is the ability to do work, otherwise known as creating a force. Is it coincidental that the Coulomb force is equal to the electrical charges multiplied together? The electrical charges multiplied together divided by the distance squared, which means as the distances get further, the energy goes down. The force goes down. As they get together, the force goes way up. So, yes, wow, exactly, Amanda. So now that was the spoiler for the next stream on Friday. We're not just talking about free energy anymore. Now we're talking about how do we make a black hole superweapon? Is it possible? Is it possible? So that'll be what we'll talk about on Friday. Okay? Hope you're going to enjoy that. Now, before we get to that, well, actually, not before we get to that. Hold on a sec. We got some donation. A lot of kids weren't taught what E meant. Yeah, isn't it kind of weird that a lot of people don't even know what the definition of energy is? The definition of energy is just the ability to do work. That's a pretty nebulous definition. You say, okay, well, what is energy? And they go, well, it's the ability to do work. What the fuck does that mean? What's that mean? Energy is a very nebulous concept. And that's why when you ask people, where's energy coming from? You know, a lot of people can't answer. A lot of electrical engineers can't answer. It's coming from, I don't know, right? Okay. Tom Montalk interview. I actually took some notes on this, so let me pull those up and see which clips I want to play. There was some great clips of Tom Montalk. Guys, if you guys have not watched the Tom Montalk interview, go to my live stream. Actually, it wasn't live stream. It was pre-recorded. You can go to the Hard Truths podcast playlist, and you can find the Tom Montalk interview. It was really, really good. I think I'm only going to play some of the clips from the physics part of it for tonight with you guys. So let's go ahead. Oh, wait, do I have a recording? I should just have a recording, right? Yeah, I should have a recording. Hold on. Tom Montalk. Here it is. I was wondering why. Welcome everybody to another. Whoa! Hey there, easy turbo, easy. It's kind of weird talking to myself. Okay, let's see here. Let's look at charge density. This was big. So 137. Actually, I might not have these times exactly right now that I think about it. Is that it opens the door to everything. Is that it could be partially us. We could have figured some of this out. We could have figured it out from aliens. We could have figured it out from digging something up. We could have figured it out on our own. It also opens the door to some of this stuff flying around being us, but some of it also being aliens using a similar foundation of technology, all based on plasma. What do you think?
Yeah, I think plasma is quite foundational. Now, for us as humans with our budget, our labs, our garages, our basements, plasma, I think, is the way to go to get those charge densities that we need to have very strong effects. And in case people are wondering, like, why is it that charge densities have any effect on anything? Well, it's because charge itself, electric charges, they seem to have a grip on the ether. And so that's why when you send a current down a wire, it drags a little bit of ether with it. And so you get this vector potential flowing alongside the outside of the wire because it's being dragged along by the charge. And so when you take charges and you compress them together, if you compress charges together in a motion like this, then what you're doing is you're also compressing the ether. So you're modulating the ether by modulating charge density. And the greater the charge density, the stronger your grip on the ether, and the more you affect the 0-point energy field.
Oh, dude. Tom fucking Montalk, chat. Tom Montalk. I loved everything he just said right there. Like, it's just a beautiful way to look at it. It's like, what is charge doing? It's interacting with the ether. You're pulling ether with you. Where's energy coming from? It's all coming from the ether. That's where this energy is coming from right here. The power plant, the power lines, these are just conduits. These are just conduits to manifest energy out of the ether. And Tom basically says, plasma is the secret. Why? Because plasma can achieve charge densities that nothing else can achieve. Nothing else can achieve those charge densities. Plasma is the perfect medium to do what we need to be able to do to achieve those densities. And I want to just show another clip real quick. I think I have it. Shit, I have. Oh, here it is. I think this is it. I actually don't even know if this is the right one.
The way to see what the Weiss effect is all about is to say it's really the generation of extremely high energy densities that are obtained by the accelerated vibration and or accelerated spin of a non-equilibrium plasma. That means the plasma that's out of equilibrium. You can think of that. They have a term for it called cold plasma. Cold, as in, you know.
I don't want to bully myself either more, but I was actually a retard back then, guys. Chat. I was so stupid back then. I was just looking at him like, I have no idea what this guy's talking about right now. Cold plasma, cool. What does that mean? And now I look back at it and I'm like, shit, holy crap, Sal. Like, now look at the context of what we just heard Tom Montalk say. Tom Montalk, a year later after that clip, is saying it's all about plasma. Plasma has these charge densities. Plasma is, when energy is basically just pulling the ether along. And he went into a long thing too about how he was basically confirming that gravity is like ether drag. It's like ether drag, and it's a vertical force. It's a vertical force. And we know that from the Michelson-Morley. So we're starting to see, like, okay, in science, there is a certain level of conformity where more and more people that are pushing the same idea with the same experimental evidence as support tends to give an idea or theory more credit, more weight. And it's pretty damn clear at this point, like, we've got it nailed down. It's all about 0-point energy field, the mechanism to interact. The most efficient mechanism to interact with the 0-point energy field is plasma, because plasma can achieve these charge densities that no other medium can achieve.
So that's why charges are so important, just because they literally grab the ether. They alter time, like the Bifield-Brown effect. Okay, the Bifield-Brown effect, you just have a capacitor, a high voltage capacitor. So one's charged super high, negative, and the other one either is at ground or super high negative voltage. And just with that alone, you get a propulsive force, because you're altering the ether in an asymmetric way. So the ether wants to flow, to rebalance it. And
So real quick, a lot of you guys may wonder, what does he mean by asymmetry? The concept of asymmetry is super easy to understand. More of something over here than there is over here. So cut this screen in half. Cut this screen in half. If it's colder over here on this half than it is on this half is hot, this half is cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. The hot side is going to flow to the cold side. Simple thermodynamics. The concept is exactly the same with electric charge. Exactly the same. If you have more negative charge over here and you have positive charge over here, more positive charge over here, a connection forms. You can create a circuit. We call it current. Current will flow. And then when does it stop? When does your battery stop producing energy? When it's become neutralized. When all of the energy has got out of it. When's the energy out of it? When the electric charge has neutralized, where it's all homogeneous now. Where all the temperature is the same. That's it. That's all the asymmetry is. So when you look at it like that, you're like, well, actually, it's really simple. How does the Bifield-Brown effect work? Well, if I have more negative charge up on one of my plates than I have on the other, it's going to move. That's the Bifield-Brown effect. That it was shown at Falcon Space Labs, Mark Sokol and Jeremy Reese and them. They recreated it in a vacuum chamber. You can see the thing spinning around. Same exact concept. They're just creating an asymmetry. Oh, Nuamua. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Nuamua, thank you very much for the 10 donations. Max Planck had a different definition of energy, the basis of quantum theory, that energy exists in discrete packets called quanta. Yeah, I remember that. Depends on Planck's constant, which depends on a fundamental time of quanta. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I think that a lot of physics is about how you conceptualize it. What I just did for you guys was I conceptualized it for you. So you can think about how you should view the universe around us. Because anyone can think like, oh, okay, I can understand the idea of asymmetry now. Here's a symmetry, different on this side than this side. That creates an effect, a force. And a force is what? Energy. Energy. Let's keep going.
Before you get this motion. And so the reason why I bring that up is because, yeah, I think plasma is the most efficient way to do it, because that's how nature does it. Ball, lightning, the sun. I'm actually fire itself as a plasma, funny enough. But yeah, I mean, you can use plasmas to do things that you can't with, let's say, copper conductors. Because a copper conductor, you can only put so much energy into it before the copper melts, before the wire heats up and it melts. So you can't use the copper wire to do these super high powerful things. But if you use a plasma, which is nothing but charges, nothing but ions and electrons, then there's nothing there to melt, so you can keep on pumping energy into it until you reach the Schwinger limit or whatever sort of limit you're talking about.
Tom is an absolute fucking genius. I can't glaze this guy enough. I'm not gay, but if this was something Tom Montalk needed, I might consider it. That's how much I respect this guy. Straight up genius. Basically, he's out there saying that if I try to do this, if I try to achieve these charge densities in wires, the wires are going to melt before you can even get close to those charge densities. People hate when I say the word glaze. It is a gross word, just like moist is, but I love it. We're going to tickle the ether and we're going to glaze it and we're going to make it nice and moist. Tickle the ether, glaze that ether, make it moist, chat. Definitely no double entendres there. So he's saying you can't do this with wires, just like with the Casimir effect. And this is where, how many, like at least 4 or 5 PhD physicists tried to argue with me that the Casimir effect doesn't show that you can extract energy because you have to pull the plates apart. What's the perfect medium to get around the issue of having to pull the plates apart? Casimir effect says if 2 plates are close together, they're going to attract. Proves that zero point energy is real. Well, don't use 2 plates. How many times have I said this? It becomes an engineering problem. Don't use 2 plates. Well, what could we use instead of 2 plates? Oh, how about a plasma? A plasma has no structure to it, or doesn't have a physical structure to it. It's just ions and just electrons. This is why the Nachamkin paper is so important. And Ken Shoulders' work. They realized something huge. They realized plasma, these charges that are just freely floating, you can make it so they don't dissipate. Just like with fire, guys. So you look at a fire. Where's my lighter? Where's my lighter, chat? The fire is dissipating into the atmosphere or into my room or whatever here. And when I let it go, it stops. What Ken Shoulders realized was that you can make it so that the plasma is self-sustaining and it's not radiating energy out. So you can actually make it so that it's going to become this coherent shape and it's not going to go away because the fire isn't dissipating into the atmosphere. It becomes self-contained without glass, without something containing it. And this is where Nachamkin came in and realized if you make a vortex in it, you can stabilize the plasma. Why did they say you can stabilize it? You stabilize it because now it's self-organizing, self-coherent, self-sustaining. That's what they were trying to do. And yes, with a standing wave, just as Penny's Garage is saying. And what's a standing wave? You have this wave, right? You can normally see a wave move like this. If you were looking at the wave and it just looks like it's not moving, that's a standing wave. The wave is in an equilibrium state. And this is where I think he adds on to this. I don't have the exact clip. Oh, yeah, I do have it. Okay, we're going to keep watching. We're going to watch like a few more minutes of this, and then we're going to call it for tonight, guys.
And you start getting really, really weird effects. But one of the important things I forgot to mention earlier.
So Tom explains it, and this is huge, so huge.
Is that there are really 2 ways of getting these exotic effects. One is to cram just as much mass and energy and motion or whatever into a certain volume of space, and you end up curving space and time. You end up curving the ether. And that's what general relativity would recommend, and I think that's what Sal Paez is that's what he's going for. He's going for like extreme energy densities to warp space and time. But there is another way. And the other way is to first you alter the actual physical constants of space itself. You know, the permittivity, the index of refraction of the ether. And if you alter those, then you don't need as much energy in order to get those effects. Okay, and that's something that, funny enough, Jack Sarfati, you know, his that's the thing that we talked about last time, the schmuck factor. So that thing, that is the variable that controls how much energy you need to warp a certain amount of space and time. And so if you can alter that first using scalar physics principles, by altering the density of the ether, if you can do that first, then the ether becomes more fluid, more pliable, softer, and you don't need as much energy per volume of space in order to open portals or alter time or anything like that. So,
bros, if you guys are not following Tom Montalk, you need to follow this guy. Like when I was listening to this guy, I'm like, how is this guy not like famous? Tom Montalk should be more famous than Neil deGrasse Tyson. He should be more famous than the Stephen Greers. He should be more famous than all the UFO people, like combined. Like I've never listened to somebody where I'm like, he 100% gets the physics. Like exactly.
So that's why I think that some of these ships, whether they are shadow military or alien stuff, some of them probably are using a method of softening up the ether first before they apply the energy. So therefore, they don't have to have the energy equivalent of a massive star in order to open a portal. Maybe they don't need that. Maybe they just need...
Tickle the vacuum, guys. Tickle the vacuum. This is exactly what Tom Bearden said. Do I have the clip of Tom Bearden tickle the vacuum? Wait, let me look. I have so many clips of Tom Bearden. This one, I think. Hold on.
Well, let's start off by talking about physical reality itself. What do we mean? We
that's not
is
right.
filled with bubbles. It is the bubbles. The molecules. It pops out some electrons from the Dirac sea. And that leaves behind the empty Dirac holes.
I think this is the one.
Well, a Dirac hole, a Dirac sea hole, is actually a negative mass energy electron. It is not a positron. And Dirac never really said it was a positron. He said that you couldn't detect the hole directly. But if you move the hole aside so it's replaced by a field hole,
well, anyway, somewhere in this interview, he talks about tickling the vacuum. I have so many clips, I'd have to pull them all up, and I don't really want to do it all at the same time. But the point is that Tom Bearden was saying the same thing. Tom Bearden was saying that you don't need this huge amount of energy to interact with a vacuum. And now somebody just asked in the chat, well, how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, what have we been talking about just now? What did Sal Pais say when I showed that equation? What is the vacuum? It's a sea of energy that's constantly vibrating in a resonance with a frequency. So how do we interact with that? Well, my first thought is we interact with it the same way that it's existing itself. Frequency, vibration. That's how we interact with it. Turns out that's exactly what Sal Pais is saying. Sal Pais is saying that we interact with the vacuum through high frequency, vibration, and spin. Resonance is the key. Instead of being primitives that are just trying to blow stuff up, we should be trying to interact the most efficient ways. We interact with the universe in the most inefficient ways possible. Explosions are basically what morons do. Fire, right? Fire is extremely inefficient. Instead, we should create something that's self-coherent, or we want to tap in to the underlying framework of the universe and do so efficiently. So what have we learned? The answer is current, or pulsed current, high voltage, high frequency, and potentially frequencies. If we're turning our dial of our radio frequencies, we want to tap into the right frequency. When we hit the right resonant frequency, what happens? We go from static to, this is Ashton Forbes, and you're live with me on Radio Chat. We're here to talk about scalar physics and plasmas and free energy. Once you get to the right frequency, all of a sudden, you hear sound, you hear music. That's what we need to do to tap into the ether. And there's another clue that I don't think I clipped from Sal that I think he mentions terahertz waves. Do you guys know anything about terahertz waves? He says something smaller than terahertz. When he says smaller, he's talking about the wavelength, I believe. Wait, the frequency. Yeah, I think he's talking about the wavelength. So we're going to look into that as well on Friday. Now let's go back. Let's
tiny fraction of that, but in correspondence to that, they've also softened up the ether in a massive way through that the combination.
I think they're all connected. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that all these ideas and concepts are connected in a way where once we start seeing it experimentally, publicly, it's going to start to make a lot of sense. I think that we can reduce the energy requirements. I think we can amplify energy as well, and I think we can pull free energy out of the ether all about going like, this is how we can create it. And then how Pudov was kind of, okay, hold on, here we go. And now you've got a bubble. You've got a bubble. Hold on. Here we go. Second. Because I always mention this Veritasium video. He's my favorite physicist out there, Veritasium on YouTube. does this video, I think it was like a year or two ago, about electricity doesn't flow through wires.
Mm-hmm.
And he finds that, yes, there's electricity is flowing through fields. You could say it's flowing through the ether, you know, from one point to the other, but it's not technically flowing through the wires. The wires are just kind of acting as conduits, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
And why is this so huge? Because of what you just said about
I went too far back.
the electricity, electrons, they are connecting to the ether. They are coupling to the ether. So now if you think about it from that perspective, this perspective of electricity is coupled to the ether. And then you can look back at Hal Puthoff's papers, specifically his polarizable vacuum or metric, space-time metric engineering. What he's talking about is basically like taking Microsoft Paint and doing a little cutout of a region. You know, make a bubble, or you can be any shape you potentially want, but like just roughly, let's say a bubble. And now you create like an eddy current. An eddy current is just like an area of space where you have a current difference, maybe a superconducting barrier. And now you've got a bubble. You've got a bubble in space-time, all created and produced by electricity, by electric charge. And I think that's what Ken Shoulders, I think this is where Ken Shoulders and Hal Puthoff's ideas overlapped and why they were partners with one another, because they both understood that space isn't empty and there's this ether. And they were both kind of like, Hal Puthoff was going Ken Shoulders was going the plasma route, going like, you know, this is how we can create it. And then Hal Puthoff was kind of explaining it in the concepts. I personally think he got sucked into the black world as well. And I think he's a lot smarter than he lets on as well. He's a very smart guy. I think he knows way more stuff. So I guess he's going to explain the pointing vector right here, and then we're going to call it after that, guys. Thoughts on that and energy not flowing through the wires and what that means for how you manipulate space-time.
Yeah, it's an important thing. It's something I wanted to bring up for sure. So it's good that we got to this point. So in that Veritasium video, yeah, I did talk about how.
Oh, Tom doesn't miss a beat. He knows all about the Veritasium video. He's like, I wanted to talk about the pointing vector and all this stuff that you just brought up. And I'm like, dude, he's on it.
How energy is not flowing through the wire, is actually flowing in the space around the wire. And the quantity that they refer to is the pointing vector, P-O-Y-N-T-I-N-G. And the pointing vector is equal to the electric field crossed with the magnetic field. So E cross B, E cross B. So if you got electric field this way, magnetic field this way, then the pointing vector, is either this way or that way. I didn't keep track of my directions, but it's perpendicular to both of them, right? Yeah. So, but see that what he's saying is it flows like how energy flows with a photon. Because in a photon, you have the electric field in one direction, you got the magnetic field perpendicular to that, and then you have the direction of motion perpendicular to both of those. And that's what the pointing vector is. It's the direction of energy flow that flows electromagnetically. And as you and I have been discussing this entire time, there's more things than just transverse electromagnetic waves. There are other forms of, you could say, waves or ripples in the ether, okay? So think about it this way. The pointing vector, if that is E cross B, in other words, E at the right angles to B, then how do you make this transverse electromagnetic flow zero? There's different ways to do it. One, you can have the E and the B be in the same direction, right? They're not perpendicular to each other. So the perpendicular component is actually zero. All right, so if you have the E and the B in the same direction, then you don't get a pointing vector and you don't get loss of energy. And that is what that 1992 Air Force paper that you've been citing recently.
Bring it up.
Yeah. By Jack
Chamkin.
Yep.
He says literally, I can't believe he just name drops the Jack and Chamkin paper. I thought when I was doing this interview, I thought 100% I was going to have to bring up the Jack and Champion paper. He brings it up. What did he just say? I'm going to close it out here by explaining what Tom Montalk's just saying, guys. Right hand rule, exactly. If you don't understand the right hand rule, you have your magnetic field as the curl of your fingers here, these three fingers. I don't remember which one electric is, one of these two, but it's perpendicular to the magnetic field. Probably can be either technically. And then so you basically have three, just like in outer space, just like in three-dimensional space. We got forward and back. We've got left and right, and we've got up and down. Same thing happens with the direction of power flow. The direction of power flow is perpendicular to both the magnetic field and the electric field, perpendicular to both. That means if my magnetic field is going this way, my electric field is going this way, then my force field, my direction of the energy flow is going to go directly forward or backwards. They must work this way. What does that mean? This actually gives us something very interesting. How do we make the pointing vector 0 so that the energy isn't going anywhere? How do we do that? Well, you manipulate the electric field or the magnetic field. If the magnetic vector is 0, then the pointing vector is 0. If the electric field is 0, then the pointing vector is 0. So what he's saying there, please tell me if I'm saying any of this wrong, by the way, is that in the Jack Nachamkin paper, it mentions several times that the electric and magnetic vector potentials are parallel, not perpendicular. Perpendicular, they're parallel. And if that happens, now your pointing vector is 0. That's what we're trying to create. Why? Because what does that let you do then? What's happening if pointing vector is 0? Where's the energy going? The energy isn't going anywhere. It's accumulating. It's accumulating. So then the question there is, now you've created the conditions required to have a self-coherent ball of energy. You've mathematically shown that if you can make your pointing vector 0, the energy in your sphere doesn't radiate out. It stays stuck within your sphere because all points in this sphere, the pointing vector is not radiating outward. People are getting pretty happy in the chat, so I think I'm saying the right thing here, chat. What I just told you is the secret sauce. That's the secret sauce to all of this. That's the secret sauce. Make your pointing vector 0. This is why the Jack Nachamkin paper says you're making the electric and magnetic vectors parallel. That's one way to zero out the pointing vector. It's not the only way, but it's one way. The other way he described it was the Ken Shoulders way. The way he describes it is that you can have your ball of plasma contracting and expanding like this in a resonance, just like this. And that will also stabilize the plasma. So there's potentially 2 different ways that can be used to stabilize the plasma. Which one works? I'm not 100% sure yet, but look at how far we've gotten, guys. If people don't think we're going to figure it out, they've been underestimating us for way too long. Because we are like an inch away from having it all figured out. Like exactly how to make a coherent ball of plasma. And now we have the ball lightning study from Eric Davis that literally has schematics in it, as well as cost points for all the materials that we were required to produce it as well. Now, why is this important? Because even if we don't know exactly how to do it right now, there's people out there that do, and they're going to start getting excited. Even a lot of people have messaged me on the side. They want to work with me and do stuff like that. I've got a lot on my plate right now. But the other thing too is that we can use our knowledge as a judge to determine who out there is doing it. Like, what if we find somebody who's already making these balls of plasma? That's the ideal situation. I don't want to build my own thing in my own lab and spend $250,000, Bruce. I don't want to do that. Somebody out there already has the lab equipment set up. I want to find the person who already has the EVO configuration ready to go. And I want to use the knowledge I have here and be like, hey, are you doing the Jack Nachamkin approach or are you doing the Ken Shoulders approach? If it's not one of those approaches, I'm probably not interested unless they can explain why the other approach is better. Okay, let's make sure. Okay, so I think we hit all the donations, guys. Big thanks, everybody, tonight from the chat. It was amazing discussion today. Amazing chat today. 15 super chats. It was huge. I appreciate you guys. So once again, got a major podcast appearance coming up. I think it probably won't play for a couple of weeks. I gave a clue in the Discord. I said that it was on one that I've already been on before. I've got a bunch of other appearances that I just scheduled earlier today. So there's a lot more stuff coming. At the beginning of the new year, I'm going to be looking to expanding the production quality and the production things that I've been doing. So if you've seen me, I haven't really been posting much on TikTok and Instagram. I just don't have time for it. Going to try to improve that stuff. Going to try to change gears and get even more serious about this. Last thing, Thank you, MH370X. You guys are the greatest. I hope you have a wonderful night. And we will most likely be talking on Friday. I may do an impromptu stream tomorrow or on Thursday. Not sure yet. Have a great night, everybody. I love y'all. Peace, everybody.
Infrared eyes, scanning the black, tracking the heat, never turning back. Control 22, a covert gaze. Control 33, in the cosmic maze. Controls in the mix, secrets untold. Silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interest, far and wide. Spears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. In the silence of space, they keep their post, shields unseen yet feared the most. With precision and speed, they warn of danger, keeping us safe from the missile's anger. As Beers, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. Controls in the mix, secrets untold, silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interest, far and wide. As Beers, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. As Beers, sentinel